Ladies and gentlemen, here we are, game week 13 predictions. In the middle of game week 12 actually taking place because of the midweek schedules, because James has a life and a job, I have a life and a job, and we do the best we can. Before I go any further though, I'm going to do something that other people on this website also do. Please go like and should subscribe and comment and do all that really, really good stuff. And I'm saying that now before you've even seen it. So you may not even like it, but I'm asking you as a favour to me and as a favour to James, please like the video, subscribe if you're not already. We would really appreciate it. However, I have just mentioned it. Yeah, we're in the middle of game week 12, so there won't be any kind of, how's James doing? How am I doing? You know, this kind of thing. We'll get to that for game week 14. We'll kind of have a quick catch up of how we did for game week 12 and game week 13 when we get round to next week. But James, let's jump into it. Nottingham Forest at home, Liverpool coming into town. Do you want to start on this one? You want me to start?
Yeah, I'll take it away. Forest, let's see how they get on in their game. Again, hasn't been the most convincing time for them coming into the Premier League. Having to integrate a lot of players. Liverpool winning back-to-back games, I think, for the first time this season. I'm not fully sure if that's a correct stat, but them winning back-to-back games against City, against West Ham, keeping the clean sheet. They seem to find their confidence back. Darwin Núñez scoring is a big thing for them. Early kickoff. I'm going to say 3-0 Liverpool, Jack.
Yeah, I got 2-0. Again, I feel like, especially with some of these teams, James, I feel like we should just get a soundboard made up, like one for you, one for me, and we just press buttons, because it's the same stuff every single week. Yeah, guys, Nottingham Forest, change of personnel, like they've not attacked this the right way. It's the same thing I say every single time. The off-season's not been brilliant. Liverpool, obviously the main ones to talk about here. Darwin Núñez goal was huge. Strikers feed on goals for confidence and all this kind of stuff. It's going to do him the world of good. And again, you looked at probably before these two fixtures took place, man, you know, Manchester City, West Ham, tough games. They got 6 out of 6 points for both those games. They're going to be delighted with that. And as James, you said it there, the clean sheet. Virgil van Dijk's not been brilliant this year. Been pretty good the last 2 games, so long may that continue. 2-0 for me on that one. Again, similar result, just not as dominant. Next up, Merseyside, still at the blue side of Merseyside. Everton at home, welcoming Crystal Palace to town. Everton struggled to score goals. I'm delighted that Dominic Calvert-Lewin started a football game, and I think as he gets games under his belt, as he grows in confidence, I think he's going to be obviously a major player for this Everton team. But, you know, is he going to get enough service? You know, it's all well and good having this strong foundation, but if you don't then score goals, you're going to lose more games than you're going to win. Then that's always going to be the biggest problem. Palace as well, you know, again, they do have 1 or 2 difference makers, the likes of a Wilfried Zaha to maybe kind of make a game and you know, score a game winner, that kind of thing. But realistically speaking, I think it will be relatively tight. Everton will be hard to break down. Maybe they can get a goal. Maybe it will be Calvert-Lewin's first goal since his return. 1-1 for me in that one, Everton against Palace. James, who have you got there?
Just like you, Jack, felt like just sitting on the fence, because as you said, it just screams draw. But I'm gonna go out on a limb right now and look at, both teams look like it feels like a stalemate here, but then I'm gonna look at the quality going forward, and I think Crystal Palace quality, especially in 1v1s in like the forward area, is devastating. And like we're able to see that against Wolves from players like Eze, Wilfried Zaha, what's his name? The French kid,
Michael Olise.
Yeah, Michael Olise. So they just got a lot of these players who can really change the game with just a moment of class, a moment of genius. I'm gonna go for 2-1 Crystal Palace.
Ooh, I like it. James, staying with you, we're going to the Etihad. Brighton coming to town. Manchester City versus Brighton. How many are Man City going to win by here? Jack, I'm going for a Brighton win.
Jack, I know
what you're like.
And to be fair, Brighton are a team that on any day can really shock a team, and you know, can pull off something. I always look at the recent history to see what the fixture's saying. Brighton won 3-2. I can't remember when they won 3-2. Again, maybe little bits can happen there, but again, I see City just being too strong at the end of the day. I'm going to say 3-0 Manchester City. It's Brighton have certain points that can really affect the team, but City at this moment of time, it's hard to bet against them. They're just coming off a loss right now. They didn't get to play against Aston. They want to get back to winning ways. I can't remember the last time City failed to win 2 games in a row in the Premier League. It must feel like ages.
Right.
So I'm going to say City back to winning ways, 3-0 Manchester City.
I got the exact same score, mate, mainly for the same reasons that you have. I think, you know, it shows where Manchester City are at the moment, generally speaking. If they, you know, they need a fired up Liverpool at home, reverting back to what they did before when they had success to come and beat them in still a pretty close game. So to me, yeah, Manchester City, I just think, 3-0, I think is probably the right scoreline. Erling Haaland's getting goals back and them kind of re-establishing their authority. James, I'm fascinated here because what I've got in my head may not translate to what's happened before. We go to West London, Chelsea versus Manchester United. Chelsea, obviously, you know, I think they drew tonight, didn't they, against Brentford? I think it was a 0-0. Yeah, 0-0 tonight. So obviously that'll be kind of a tough one for them to take, you'd imagine. I feel like Chelsea are usually a bit of a bogey team for Manchester United. I don't know if you can confirm that maybe when you do your bit. But to me, you know, Manchester United somewhat riding high. But I think a Graham Potter-led team with the talent they have away from home, bogey team. I don't know whether that affects the mental of some of these Manchester United players. I can just see a loss coming in. I don't think they'll get massively embarrassed or anything like that. I don't know if Chelsea really have the players to embarrass teams at the moment. But yeah, 2-1 Chelsea for me, and I think relatively speaking, a pretty routine Chelsea win. I don't think at any point of this game will feel like Manchester United should have gotten something out of the game. Maybe a late consolation goal from somebody like an Anthony, something like that, or maybe on the break. 2-1 Chelsea, Man United. Who have you got in that one, James?
Interestingly enough, Jack, Man United are unbeaten in the last 9 games against Chelsea.
I didn't know that.
A lot of them have been draws. The last 4 games have been 1-1 draws, 0-0 draws, and it just feels another one that you're gonna sit on the bench here. It's tough because me watching Manchester United right now, they're quite impressive, and we know what they're gonna do. They're gonna come, let Chelsea come out on them, and then you know they're gonna have players like Anthony, Rashford, Sancho just coming at them with pace in behind. That to me, that 1v1 spark.
Martial may be fit for this one too.
Maybe Ronaldo might play. But it's easy to say 0-0. You went for Chelsea, right?
Chelsea 2-1 for me, yeah.
I'm gonna flip the other way and go 2-1 Manchester United.
Okay, I like it. Just tried typing on my
probably
keyboard.
when you're looking at it overall, Jack, it looks like it's just going to be a draw. The last 4 has been a draw. It looks cool. Probably
it'll be a draw. We'll look like fools. Why did we not go based on the precedent? James, coming to you again. Wolverhampton welcoming Leicester to town. I'm not going to lie to you. I personally found this one kind of tricky. Which way are you leaning here?
I just gotta look quick on the stats right now.
Checks the last 3 games.
Yeah, you know these sort of stuff. In my opinion,
look, you're right. You may have a
psychological thing about a team going really well, and then they go against a certain team that they don't like. I'm an Arsenal fan. I know about it. The time we didn't like Blackburn, Bolton, certain games we just didn't enjoy playing. Again, Wolves looked impressive against Crystal Palace. You know. And possibly could have won the game, but unfortunately that wasn't happening there. Again, Leicester bottom of the table. Leicester aren't the Leicester that we known them to be. No. I think Leicester will struggle going there. I don't think that Wolves will blow them away, but I think Wolves are able to get the job done. So I'm going to stay 2-1 to Wolves.
2-1 to Wolves, nice. James, I'm going to go 1-1 here. I think with Wolves, it's going to be similar things to what I've mentioned in previous videos, and I still feel largely the same. Unless Diego Costa can kind of get something rolling here, we're still looking at a team that I think has a lot of quality, a lot of potential, a lot of talent, can probably play any which way that any sort of talented manager wants them to execute for them to come in because they have that array of skills. But they don't have that finished article at the end. That's why I was so excited for Sasa Kalajdzic as well, obviously, apart from his very, very sad injury that obviously he had there. Again, maybe I can see Wolves getting something, but I can also see Leicester getting something as well. So this is a 1-1 for me. I'm not going to be overly surprised if Wolves can snag this 1-0, 2-0, 2-1, like you've selected, but I'm going to go with a 1-1 here. I feel like this might be one of those draws. Aston Villa. an under pressure Steven Gerrard welcoming Brentford, who just got a very nice draw against Chelsea, coming to town. I get the sense now we're in, to a certain extent, desperation mode for Aston Villa. They're dangerously close to these relegation spots. And James, there's a few of these jobs opening up, which might make a certain Mr. Pochettino get interested. He might start salivating a little bit and being keen to take over one of these projects. Aston Villa might just be one of those jobs. I mean, the talent dotted around in that squad is certainly something he might look at. Same for Wolves, to be fair, I should mention as well. But yeah, I feel like we're in kind of a bit of a pressure now with Steven Gerrard, a gotta have it kind of game for Aston Villa. So I can see them just sneaking the skin of their teeth 2-1 Aston Villa against Brentford. Who have you got in this one, James?
Jack, from the rumours, I thought Steven Gerrard was gone. There was the funny text that so some guy posted Steven Gerrard was at a pub, his office, and all that sort of stuff there. Right. But if you're Gerrard and you're Aston Villa, this is not a team that you want to see right now. Brentford, serious team, serious threat. We're able to get a point off Chelsea, and just what they bring overall is quite tough, but it's desperation mode for them. It feels like before it was like, no matter what, Gerrard is going to last the season. It's like if he doesn't get the next few results, he's in dire need. And I think that they must pull up their socks right now. He's going to get them ready to go for this. I'm going to say, just like you, I'm going to say 1-0.
1-0. I will say, James, I've kind of locked in my score now and I'm going to stick with it. But Ivan Toney against that Villa defence, I know who I'm picking to win that one. So again, Ivan Toney could easily go off against those guys. James, I'm going to stay with you. Of course, you need to go first for this game. Southampton are at home, welcoming Arsenal to town. Who have you got winning this one? Also, just to say, I hate picking Saints games. I've got my score in. I'm happy with it, but I don't feel great about it.
Jack, do you know what it is? Arsenal going to Southampton, it's not our favourite ground to go to. We've had some really bad days there.
Right.
And I remember last season losing 1-0 to Southampton, one of them games where they had a lot of players injured and we somehow still managed to lose to them. That was one of the games that cost us getting top 4. But the Arsenal team feels a bit different. The vibe feels a bit different, and people talk about what's going on with Arsenal. Could there be a possible title challenge there? I'm not saying that there's going to be a title challenge there, but if you keep on winning, you have to.
But you'll let other people say it.
At a certain point, you have to put a team up there.
Right.
And Arsenal, I won 4 straight games. I think, Jack, we're going to make it 5. I'm going to say 3-1 to the mighty Arsenal.
3-1. Yeah, look, James, I got 2-0, but I will say I'm going to put this one on upset alert. Saints are a weird football team. They really are. There are some physically very, very capable football players there who lack maybe the consistency. They feel like, quite a young team as well, kind of new, getting to know each other. We know what Ralph Hasenhüttl can do. He can really unsettle certain teams as well. So this one, could it be a draw? Could maybe Saints sneak a win just out of nowhere? I'm not ruling that one out either, but I'm going 2-0 Arsenal as well, James.
Jack, you're right there. And the one player that I hate seeing for some weird reason, I'm not sure if he still plays for Saints, is Shane Long.
Right.
He's always a pesker to me.
Fear factor.
Listen, there's something about Shane Long. He has a good record against Arsenal. When he's there running in behind, it gets me feeling a certain type of way.
The other wild card. The other wild card too is obviously always James Ward-Prowse. The dead ball delivery there, whether it's a direct free kick or in from a corner, you know what he's like. Leeds United, Fulham coming to town. I'm going to just take Leeds 2-1. I just think that Fulham, there's a certain level of we know they can be good. We know they can be dangerous. If you feed Mitrovic, he will score you goals. But again, defensively, I just think they're a little bit suspect. And again, with Leeds, with Jesse Marsch, there is this kind of, German gegenpress style. Obviously, you've still got the remnants of the Marcelo Bielsa way of playing there as well. Again, I think Leeds can just apply enough pressure to Fulham, especially with Fulham being away from home, that can upset them a couple of times. But again, I think Mitrovic might get his customary goal there as well. But yeah, 2-1 Leeds against Fulham there. James, who have you got in this one?
I was looking at the recent history about it, and there was just a big gap from 2020 to 2004.
Right.
So I'm like, wow, but I realized it's two completely different stuff.
Regress back to your childhood.
Seriously, Mark Viduka days.
Yeah.
But I think the last time Fulham were in the Premier League, Leeds were able to do the double against them. And yes, this is a vastly different Fulham side, but their recent record, Jack, has been a bit shaky and failed to win their last 3. But I like what I've seen from Leeds. Leeds haven't won in their last 5, but their performance against Arsenal was so positive. And forget about getting a draw, Jack. They should have got all 3 points in that game.
Right.
And I'm gonna, just like you, I'm gonna back them again. I'm going to say Leeds to win. 2-1 Leeds again.
Yeah, look, I've got the same thing, and I think you make all the right noises there. The results maybe aren't matching the performances, so maybe their day is due, especially at home against a weaker opposition. James, I have the delight to tell you that you're next for this one. This was the hardest game of the week for me to pick. You got Spurs welcoming Newcastle to town. James, I am fascinated, and also I didn't do this on purpose. I'm delighted that you're going first here. Spurs Newcastle. How do you see it happening?
Jack just throwing stuff. I think the last time they played...
I'm just going to put this out there, full transparency for people watching. I don't even have a score written in, and James's score might influence me, so I'm just putting that out there.
Okay.
I'm still thinking about it.
Newcastle are a team that could go to anywhere and be a serious threat.
Right.
I can't believe last year Spurs won 5-1. I'm trying to remember what they did to win 5-1, but again, this is a completely different Newcastle side, which to me have a better mentality going into tough away games. You look at their performance at Anfield, Jack. I know Liverpool got the last minute winner that. To me, I don't know how the game lasted that long. Going to Old Trafford the other day and putting in a very good performance, against Manchester City. They seem to get up for the bigger games, and this is a big game today. Spurs' recent record against Newcastle is actually quite decent. They haven't lost in their last 5 games, but I like Newcastle, and I really do like what they bring, and I feel like they can bring a shock factor to Tottenham. And Tottenham, to me, yes, they could get on this scrappy thing where they don't play well, and then they can have 10 minutes of good quality from your Kulikevskis, your Sons, your Kanes. But I'm going to back Newcastle here, Jack, and I think Newcastle can get something from this game. Yeah. I'm going to say 1-0.
1-0, okay, I like it, because I'm taking Newcastle. I think I watched the Man United Spurs game, and I saw Manchester United dominate the ball, and they really shouldn't have dominated it quite like they did. Really, Fred, Bruno Fernandes, Casemiro. I mean, there's some really talented guys in there, especially with them being at home as well, and the way that Eric Ten Hag has this attack together, defend together kind of mentality with his team. But James, Spurs have, especially with Kane coming deep, with what the wing-backs can offer, with the ball-playing centre-backs and the midfielders' quality that they have as well, the fact they didn't even have any of the ball for large parts of the game was really concerning to me. And James, I look at the likes of a Bruno Guimaraes in there, I look at a Miguel Almiron, I look at some of the talented guys who are very comfortable on the ball for Newcastle. This could be a home game for Spurs where, again, maybe they don't have that much of a ball. I don't know. Again, the other thing I look at, James, and I think this is a really important dynamic, which maybe some people will miss, Kieran Trippier revenge game. Guy's playing amazing at the moment. I mean, if a guy called João Cancelo didn't exist, I think we might be talking about the best right back in the league at the moment. That's kind of how I feel, how well he's playing right now. And again, a direct free kick, a cross, a corner, something of that nature. I can just see Newcastle imposing their will a little bit. Bruno Guimaraes as well, with the assist today, I believe, as well. So he's growing in confidence as well. Callum Wilson, we know he can be dangerous too. So I'm going to say Newcastle snag this one. I have a really uneasy feeling about this Spurs-Newcastle game. And I think that translates to the fact that I actually think Newcastle might be able to do something here.
Jack, your argument sways me even more.
Right.
I was in the motion of I wanted to lean towards Newcastle. I just felt Tottenham, they have this, they have enough quality to sometimes just get them.
It's really annoying.
As we've seen this season on a number of occasions. I'm just going to stick to my score again, but just like you, I won't be surprised if Newcastle win. In fact, I'll probably back them a little bit more than I back Tottenham.
The frustration, I think, and again, I think you and I agree on this. Spurs can have 3 chances and score all 3. Newcastle can have 8 and score 1, and the game ends 3-1. You know what I mean? And that's the frustration of having such great attackers, but who, for whatever reason, aren't being put in opportunities to score. Final one from me. Going to East London, West Ham United, welcoming Bournemouth to town. I just think this Bournemouth bubble, this kind of new spell that they've had where they've been undefeated and quietly quite good, I think it's going to come to an end here. I think West Ham are a better drilled team. There's more talent across the board, and I just think they'll be outplayed. Nice, neat and tidy 2-0 win for West Ham against Bournemouth. James, who have you got in that one?
Just like you, to be fair, I've said this on a number of occasions. I feel like with me and Jack have kind of been a little bit unfair to Bournemouth.
Yep, hands
up.
up.
Their first loss. They in the last 5 games they've only picked up 1 loss, and to be fair, since the new man, since the caretakers is came in, and we know what happened with the Scott Parker stuff, they've become a team who you believe that they could actually stay up here, you know. And the care system, I can't even remember his name. He could actually get the job full time. And to be fair, looking at their performance, he deserves the job full time. But in London, with the West Ham Stadium, I like what West Ham been able to build. I see the quality that they have. I'm going to say West Ham, Jack, 3-1. And I think West Ham they're enjoying their London fixtures this year, so I'm going to say 3-1 West Ham. Yeah,
and yeah, James, you make all the right noises there. We're not going to be judging West Ham on games against Liverpool, Man City. We're going to be judging West Ham on the games against the teams that they're clearly better than. I think that's going to be the main one, guys. Like I say, I'd love to give you kind of a review of how we did for the week before and this current week, but guys, we're in the midst of it. There's still games to come tomorrow. James and I could easily pick up another couple of points or drop a couple of points here and there going forward. Like I said at the beginning of the video, may as well double down. Please like the video if you have liked what you've seen. Subscribe if you'd like to see a little bit more as well. That would be super helpful. You might be getting our videos but not be subscribed. Hit the bell as well so you get notified. James, anything else from you, mate?
Please, you must hit that subscribe button, especially that like button too, to get this video shared there. Comment down below, and me and Jack will see you in the next video.